This was truly an utterly terrible disaster. Nearly every vehicle that passed by the scene couldn't avoid getting into an accident, and a great many of the crashed cars were hit more than once. Some drivers were pinned between vehicles, while others were trapped inside their cars, in a highly vulnerable and perilous situation. Just think about it. If a vehicle had caught fire at that moment, or if a large truck had rear-ended from behind, it would have been a death sentence for the trapped drivers. However, as rear-end collisions kept occurring one after another, we witnessed a group of warm-hearted drivers. Among them were some seasoned-old drivers who immediately started running energetically along the emergency lane towards the upstream, constantly waving their hands to flag down the oncoming traffic. Without a doubt, their actions were extremely meaningful. They provided the following vehicles with more time to react and effectively averted the possibility of the accidents escalating further. Even though they themselves were involved in accidents, they didn't want the vehicles behind to meet the same fate. Through their actions, they passed on a sense of safety to the oncoming cars and also gave the trapped drivers more chances to evacuate and escape from danger. Their kindness and sense of duty are truly heart-wrenching. Let's offer our highest respects to these kind-hearted drivers. Take a close look. There was a figure at the sharpest bend on the right-hand side of the road. Meanwhile, a vehicle had come to a halt right in the middle of the highway ahead. It was evident that an accident had occurred up there, and this man was probably in the process of setting up a tripod. Suddenly, a large truck came barreling down the road. The man, seeing this, leaped straight into the guardrail. At first sight, his action might seem a bit extreme, but then the large truck started to fishtail violently, its body nearly sweeping across the entire lane. Thanks to the man's quick reflexes, he narrowly escaped disaster. Now, take a look at the vehicles ahead, the guardrail, and the ground. Everything seemed to be in decent shape and didn't point to a major accident. I'm guessing that the light truck might have lost traction in the curve and grazed the guardrail, which forced the white car and the van to stop. Unfortunately, they were then rear-ended by a large vehicle. The brake lights of the white car and the van were on, suggesting that the drivers were still inside. It's highly likely that the agile man was the light truck driver. What a reckless move! This truck driver blocked the middle of the road, completely cutting off the highway. And this was at a curve, with the road being slippery after the rain. An accident was almost a certainty. In such a situation, the right course of action is to immediately pull over to the side of the road and park well away from the curve. Then, quickly call the police and follow their instructions to evacuate to a safe location nearby. The two small passenger cars were innocent bystanders caught in this accident. If we found ourselves in their shoes, what should we do? Keep in mind that every additional second on the highway increases the risk to your life. We should immediately exit the vehicle and move away from the curve as fast as possible. If the chance arises, we should also remind and urge the truck driver to move the vehicle to the side. Additionally, even if we're not involved in an accident, we should make every effort to place a tripod 150 meters behind our vehicle to alert following drivers to slow down and prevent further accidents. Whenever we pass by a vehicle, it's crucial to observe it attentively. A vehicle that has just pulled over might suddenly swing its door open. One parked haphazardly could start moving unexpectedly, and a vehicle moving slowly may actually be rolling. Let's take this truck as an example. Upon closer inspection, we can see that the door on its left side is ajar. Coincidentally, two kids are passing by on the left. Before long, the truck begins to move. The kids, being unaware of the potential danger and unknowingly getting close to the truck. We all know that most truck doors are made of metal. If they were to hit a child's head, the consequences would be catastrophic. In this extremely perilous moment, a traffic police officer swiftly reached out and scooped the two kids into his arms, while another man quickly sprang into action and pushed the truck door open. Their combined efforts of pulling and pushing successfully safeguarded the two children. Without a doubt, these two kids were incredibly fortunate. This incident serves as a stark warning, particularly for children who lack the necessary experience. Therefore, it's essential to educate children that when passing by a vehicle at close quarters, They should be vigilant about the vehicle's movements and any signs of abnormality. They should keep a safe distance from vehicles that have just pulled over, those parked randomly, slow-moving vehicles, vehicles in the process of unloading, and vehicles with open doors. And they should be especially cautious around trucks to avoid any potential dangers. This video captures a classic accident at a highway on ramp. At that moment, large vehicles were lined up on the left, while a steady stream of cars was merging from the right. When you're in the position of the car in the video, you've got to be extremely vigilant. You need to either pick up the pace a bit or ease off the accelerator. Absolutely avoid getting into a situation where you're traveling at the same speed as the vehicles merging from the right. If that happens, honk your horn and flip on your high beams to signal to the merging cars to hold off for now and wait until you've cleared the area before merging. However, the driver of the car in the video opted to just sit back and observe. Eventually, they were forced to swerve to the left. If the large vehicle on the left had been dangerously close at that moment, the car in the video would have been the first to get caught up in the mess caused by others' mistakes and then gone on to cause problems for other drivers. In that case, the car in the video would have been liable for the accident, while the vehicles that triggered the situation could have potentially gotten off without any consequences. So, whenever we sense that a dangerous situation is about to unfold, it's crucial to give a clear and early warning. Otherwise, more often than not, we'll be the ones left holding the bag. Thankfully, this time it was just a close shave, and no serious damage was done. Take a look at the road sign up there. It clearly shows 2 through lanes, 1 dedicated left turn lane, and a U-turn opening. This is a clear indication that an intersection lies ahead. Right now, the van on the left is in the process of making a U-turn. The spot where it's turning is actually a left turn entrance. Logically, if there's an exit, there must be an entrance. Even though we can't pinpoint the exact location of the entrance, we can catch a glimpse of the upcoming intersection through the gaps in the trees. That's the entrance, and it's only a matter of time before vehicles start coming in. Pay close attention to the taxi in front. It was wise enough to move over to the far right lane right from the get-go. From the way the video recorded car is moving, it's evident that the driver has noticed the taxi's situation and anticipated that the taxi might change lanes to the left since there's no clear path ahead. There's a vehicle entering from the entrance, which happens to be in the 8-pillar blind spot of the video recorded car. The video recorded car shows a slight leftward lean, a clear sign that the driver has clocked the taxi's movement. That's a positive sign of situational awareness. However, despite this, the driver still failed to have a comprehensive view of the situation, which ultimately led to the accident. When faced with front-end congestion or other similar situations on the road, overtaking by borrowing the left lane is a common option. However, in the present scenario, there is a relatively large number of vehicles on the right side. The driver of the video recorded car, perhaps under the assumption that the vehicles on the right were moving at a sluggish pace, opted to overtake on the left. But as the overtaking maneuver on the left extended over an extended period, the driver completely overlooked the need to monitor the left-hand side. They failed to anticipate the presence of an intersection on the left. Given that it is a two-way lane, there are bound to be intersections on the opposite side or right turning vehicles approaching from that direction. If the driver had been more vigilant and considered this possibility, they would have made a conscious effort to return to the original lane in a timely manner during the overtaking process, rather than persisting with the left lane overtake for an extended duration. In cases where a long-distance left lane overtake is necessary, continuous observation of the left-hand intersection on the opposite side is crucial to avoid potential collisions when re-entering the original lane. As can be clearly seen in this situation, there is absolutely no room for the video-recorded car to maneuver and avoid a collision on the right side. This clearly indicates a severe lack of basic traffic safety awareness on the part of the driver. The triangular sign above, which clearly indicates a left-hand intersection, the rear-view mirror on the left front, and the white cement road surface at the left front intersection all serve as conclusive evidence that this is an intersection fraught with risks. An intersection inherently implies potential dangers. If no vehicle emerges from the intersection, it may pass without incident. But if a vehicle does emerge unexpectedly, it can lead to the kind of situation we are currently witnessing. Now, let's shift our attention to the medium-sized bus. When making a right turn, the bus was traveling at a relatively high speed and failed to conduct a proper assessment of the road conditions. It seemed to act rather recklessly as it emerged from the turn. If there had been a through vehicle approaching from its left rear, it would have inevitably disrupted the normal flow of traffic for that vehicle. This clearly demonstrates that the safety awareness of the bus driver was also lacking. Fortunately, in the end, the situation only resulted in a minor scrape, and no more severe consequences occurred. This video captures a nighttime scenario on the highway. Keep an eye on the vehicle up ahead. Its brake lights have been illuminated, yet the driver of the video recorded car remains completely oblivious. When the leading vehicle's brake lights come on without an obvious cause, it's imperative that we at least pay heed. However, instead of switching on the high beams to get a better view of the road ahead, the driver of the video recorded car steered the vehicle to the left and then collided with an object. If that object had been a large obstacle, the consequences for the video recorded car could have been far more severe. In such a situation, regardless of the damage to one's own vehicle, if the car is still capable of gliding, it's advisable to let it glide a bit further. This can help avoid being rear-ended by a fast-moving vehicle behind, thus preventing a secondary accident. When driving at night, whether on the highway or in urban areas, it's crucial to learn how to use high and low beams effectively. When faced with a situation, immediately switch to high beams to illuminate the road ahead. Once you've got a clear view, make your next move. If there isn't enough time to switch and see clearly, immediately slow down, observe carefully, and only proceed when you're certain it's safe. This video seems to capture a scene at a roundabout. The video recorded car, accompanied by two white cars ahead and a black car on the left, are all gearing up for a right turn. However, rather than taking the designated right turn lane on the right, they decide to cross lanes to make the turn. Crossing lanes for a right turn creates substantial blind spots. At this very moment, a motorcycle finds itself in the A-pillar blind spot of the black car. The driver of the black car has no visibility of the motorcycle whatsoever. As a result, a collision takes place. If only the black car had merged into the right-hand right turn lane earlier, this unfortunate accident could have been easily avoided. Right now, keep your eyes peeled. The car on the right has its turn signal flashing, clearly indicating its intention to merge into the lane where the video-recorded car is traveling. Simultaneously, we can spot roadblocks up ahead on the right front, which have significantly narrowed the road width. In such a scenario, occasionally, overtaking by means of lane changing can enhance traffic flow efficiency. But there are times when you shouldn't be overly rigid about it. If another vehicle tries to force its way in, it's wiser to yield the right of way. Don't get too caught up in determining who has the legitimate right to proceed. While adhering to traffic rules is important, real-time traffic situations must also be taken into consideration. After all, getting involved in an accident can be a nightmare. It not only disrupts your own schedule but, in severe cases, can lead to life-threatening injuries or even fatalities. So, on the road, the ability to deftly and flexibly evade potential dangers and avert accidents is the hallmark of a truly seasoned driver. This incident took place at night, a time when visibility is inherently limited. The vehicle in front had its brake lights illuminated well in advance, yet the driver of the video-recorded car failed to show the necessary vigilance. As a result, a collision occurred. So, what led to this crash? Primarily, the driver of the video-recorded car neglected to conduct dynamic observation of the front vehicle. This lack of attention caused the two vehicles to get too close. By the time the driver noticed the situation, it was already too late to apply the brakes effectively. Additionally, when passing through the intersection, it's highly likely that the driver of the video-recorded car didn't have their foot on the brake. This oversight significantly increased the risk of an accident. Perhaps the most critical factor was the failure to maintain a proper offset from the front vehicle. If the video-recorded car had been offset from the front vehicle, the rear vehicle could have had a clear view of the front vehicle's front situation. However, when the two vehicles were in a front-to-back longitudinal parallel position, the rear vehicle was forced to follow passively, being at the mercy of the front vehicle. In such a scenario, if the front vehicle brakes suddenly, a rear-end collision becomes almost inevitable.